Grand Rising, True Brit, True Brit News, MAGA, Make Albion Great Again. I'm putting my finger up because as I'm speaking, it's coming back to me what it is that I wanted to talk about in this podcast. Why some need me to be dumb, wrong, stupid. I'm thinking about changing the title, changing it to something else. This thing's fading in and out again in terms of its brightness. So I can do it like that. Okay. What did it remind me of? It reminded me of this notion of Britannia. It reminded me and what that means and what comes to mind when you hear the word Britannia. The song comes to mind, and again the meaning of the tunage that is sang at a particular time. I think it's for the or what do they call it? Last night at the proms. It's the last thing that they sing. Rule Britannia, Britannia rule the waves. Britons never, never shall be slaves. It's interesting, see? And I've been saying for many years now, a few years, I don't know how many years, that there needs to be a distinction between, well, there are distinctions between Britons, Englishmen, UK citizen, British subject, what's the other one? England. I think I'm developed, I've known, well, you can see that there are differences. They conjure up in the mind, in the heart and spirit, different things for different people. They are different people. Lots of much shared cultural knowledge, experience, history, tradition, and so on. Much that is shared. So, and I will be, and have done actually, made some distinctions between those different, I suppose, the terms that are both adjectives and nouns. Okay, I don't like the way this thing keeps fading in and out. Anyway, so what's that got to do? What's that got to do with the news? It's quite early in the morning. That's probably why it's still quite dark. Tariffs. Oh dear me. It's so funny. I think it's hysterical, right? So Donald Trump says tariffs. Everybody's like freaking out all over the place. I find it fascinating on so many levels. Tariffs, it's linked to money. People start freaking out. Money. That's what we're about. We're all about the money. All about the money. The West is all about the money. And it's turned the world into a place where it's all about the money. But just below that, kind of like hidden, it's about trade. In order to make the money, if you will, or get the money. But these days, and for me, actually, not these days necessarily, but for me, and probably for these days, what is money? Because that's also, it is around a little bit. So anyway, over the weekend, and he said he was going to do it. He said he was going to put some, so he put some tariffs on, I think it's China, Canada, and Mexico. They put some tariffs on them. And what does those tariffs mean? I don't know what they mean. But nobody's happy about it. Obviously, I don't know. Do I know why? Yes, but if you listen carefully, what he's saying is that he's putting tariffs on imports. Is that right? So you can't export to the United States. Now, if you do, you're going to pay some big taxes, unless, as an example, you take back the illegal immigrants that you seem to this is my language, that you've sent to us. So Donald Trump is speaking to the governments of Canada, Mexico, and other places I can't remember. It's too early in the morning. China. I'm going to put some tariffs, and he's mentioned something in regards to China about fentanyl and cars, I think it is. So what I'm gleaning from this, right? Anyway, I forget, but I won't do my gleanings. But like, there's something gone on there. Donald's saying, you've got to leave the fentanyl out of it. You know what I mean? We don't want that, and we don't want your cars. One of the necessarily we don't want, and also some of your AI, some of your TikTok type stuff, technology, and rah rah rah. Now, one of the things that it's forcing to happen in America, one is going to get loads of money coming in if it does put those tariffs in on anything that does come through, but also it encourages the Americans. I am gleaning. It encourages the Americans, if you like, to make your own, grow your own, do for self, instead of relying on the Chinese. Now, he's done that over the weekend, and he's also said, "Yeah, I got some tariffs for the UK and Europe, making a distinction between the two. We've been having a pop at something to do with, I don't know what it is, but like there've been some exchanges. Some of it I am aware of, actually, with Keir not getting an invite to the parties and stuff like that. But you got Suella Braverman and all that lot, the Tory parties, gobbling. That's what I would say. Kissing the ring. They've gone to kiss the ring. They've gone to kiss the. They've all got anyone who got an invite. A lot of them have gone to kiss the ring, and I'm not too sure which ring it is that they're kissing, but they've gone to kiss the ring, right? There were certain politicians that did go, certain world leaders that went, or said something, nice, sent a representative over there, and they were all welcome, and some of them were sitting up on the stage, some of them in the audience, and some of them came to the party afterwards, and the chit chat, and all the rest of it. Even Farage is what I say. Anyway, I digress. So this morning, what has he said? I've got some tariffs for Europe and the UK. So what happens in Asia on the stock market, it's taken a dive. And actually, I discovered whilst learning that a couple of weeks ago, they've had to freeze was it last week or the week before maybe? They had to freeze the Indonesian stock market. They had to just stop it. You know what I mean? It didn't open, closed it. Now, you may well have heard by now, this is by the time of this recording, because it's a Monday morning, that, you know, there's lots of concern. Everybody's talking about what's happening in China. Over in the East, the Eastern markets, Far East markets, the Nikkei, I think it's called, was taking a bit of a hit, and it hadn't even opened yet before trading. And also they're not due to fully open in that region until Wednesday. So there's a kind of, and it's not looking good at the minute, and it may well have a cascading effect. But anyway, due to the tariffs, it may have a cascading. Well, it's going to have it may have a cascading effect on our stock market here in Europe, but also he said there will be tariffs for the UK and for Europe. So, and that's going to affect the stock market too. So I suppose in some respects, true Brits, the time to tribe up, clan up, the time to diversify your assets is upon us. It may be too late. It's going to be challenging. It is already challenging, and it may well get worse for a while, because what the stock market is a kind of, it seems to be an animal. It's to do with trade, and it's to do with money, and it's to do what people. The other bit of the trade bit really was what we've been trading in. You see, so again, an indication was when Donald Trump said something about fentanyl and the Chinese, done with that. And in Mexico, it's the illegal immigration. And he did say that he expects that all countries follow his lead. Yeah. Now, this is the kind of rhetoric, if you like, or this is the kind of language that you get in business when the CEO says, you know, and across the different parts of the company, this is what I want you to do. Starmer's been a bit stroppy, you see, a bit miserable, and he's saying he's not going, he's not doing it. He wants to go and do it, and he's telling, but he's been summoned apparently. He's going over. I'm not saying he's been summoned, but he's going over to see Trump around about the same time as Netanyahu, who's going to be over there as well. I think he's entertaining the German Chancellor at the moment. Anyway, so true Brits need to be have your head on your swivel. Know what's going on around you. Melanated Brits. I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. But what I will say, it's the tribing up, it's the clanning up, it's the preparation. It's about looking after your loved ones. It's about the return of the matriarchy. For me, that's my view. But there's quite clearly a shift going on elsewhere in the world. Look more widely, look more deeply into, and look behind what is being presented, because it's all interconnected and interrelated. And I don't think it's necessary to have a wider perspective than the one that you may be getting from whatever information. Yes, do trust your eyes, trust your gut. And what do I mean by that? Because we're beginning to recognize that we've been lied to, we've been deceived, and it can be scary. I've got this quite conciliatory tone on, a mood on at the moment, and it's not what I've been feeling these last couple of days. I've been feeling quite annoyed that it's got to this pitch. To take some joy, true Brit, in the positives that are taking place, even though it's just stage one of the Palestinians being able to return to their homeland and have some sense of a future of at least rebuilding from the desolation that's been placed upon them. Take some joy that the Syrians before them, a couple of weeks before them, have had a similar experience. There are faint or little glimmers of light then that are of peace. Breaking out all over the shop. Look out for them. They are there. They are there. And notice yourself when the idea of peace presents itself. The idea of no more wars. The idea of no more lies. The idea of that which has been kept in the dark coming to light. Notice what happens to you emotionally, relationally, psychologically. I'll just deal with those three when it starts to come up. You know, when the notion of peace appears. Notice what happens to you. Where in your body this happening is happening. The feelings, the thoughts, the sensations that come up. I imagine there are plenty. I'm not saying to ignore them, but to get to know them. Till the next time, may your ERP and your spirituality remain strong. I'm gone.